Zen Ray here. My apologies. I'm a few minutes late, just getting my stuff together. I welcome you, Nick Nation, my band of brothers. I greatly appreciate you. I thank you for all the kind words and me getting back to health. I'm about 95% full charge battery here. I'm still got a little ways to go, but my lungs are doing much better. My breathing capacity is much better, and I should be 100% hopefully the next week or so. But Nick Nation, I just want to thank you for all the kind comments and words and things that you've been supporting this channel. We'll be on with Juby, the Tubi family above everything. Other support in Juby. He was great and fantastic through my times of illness, but I greatly appreciate him as well. And I just want to thank you all for subscribing and supporting this channel with the likes and comments and supporting me in general on this platform. So today we'll be talking about the next All-Star. Who you think would be the next All-Star on this New York Knicks team? Is this All-Star here now, or do we need to get someone? Right now, the Phoenix Suns seems like they may have a fire sale. All hell is breaking out loose out there in Phoenix. So we'll talk about that as well. But in your eyes, Nick Nation, right now, if you had to take a guess, who would be the next All-Star? I'll give you my opinion in a few. I'll be back in a few, and I greatly appreciate you, Nick Nation, my band of brothers. We'll be back in a few. Just stand by for just a few. Thank you.
It'll create itself. Gotta get underground. Gotta put in that work so you can make it count. It'll create itself. Gotta get underground. Gotta put in that work so you can make it count. It don't create itself, I'm sure you know. Many ideas and your body just blow. If you don't put it work, you never know. If you don't take a step, you never grow. You just keep dreaming about it and go, but you never put a foot on the road. Gotta be ready, you gotta be bold. Pick up a shovel and dig up a hole. You got a power, you gonna divide.
Welcome back, Nick Nation, my band of brothers. So I was thinking basically, like, who would be the next All-Star right now? Can Tom Thibodeau coach in a way where he can bring the best out of his players this year? It's a very important year for Tom Thibodeau. And obviously Leon Rose, because he actually didn't pull the trigger on anything. I mean, we didn't draft anybody. We just got some more number one picks, capital for future picks or future assets. So let's see what Tom Thibodeau can do with the team that we have now. So Nick Nation, in your mind right now, who do you think will be the next All-Star for the New York Knicks? I'm leaning to this man right here, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett. I think the Knicks were very shrewd not making that Donovan Mitchell trade because of this young man, RJ Barrett. RJ. So Nick Nation, give me your opinion. Can RJ take the reins here? Now you have a point guard that can put you in a position to succeed, Nick Nation, and that's Jalen Brunson. So I look forward to RJ Barrett to take the positive step forward to lead this Knicks team into the playoffs this year. Tom Thibodeau has to coach his best year ever coming up, or I can see Tom Thibodeau looking probably not for another job. I think he'll probably work somewhere in the organization because he's Leon Rose's buddy. But Nick Nation, give me your opinion. I'll give you your opinion, Nick Nation. We're going to talk about the Phoenix situation, what's going on in Phoenix, and look, Nick Nation, I think that Devin Booker can be a hell of a player on any team. And we lost Donovan Mitchell. He wasn't that superstar, but Devin Booker, he's a different type of cat. He's a guy who can take over games. He plays defense. Right now, it seems like Phoenix, they're going under a lot of scrutiny because of the owner. But let's see what happens there. That's a possibility. The Knicks can do something positive and possibly be acquiring a Devin Booker. And I don't think it's going to be for this year. I think it'll be sometime next year, but you never know what might happen. between now and the All-Star break. Our first preseason games coming October 4th with the Detroit Pistons at the Garden. But let me give you a little history on what Devin Booker can do for us. This is the news here. Devin Booker news. Okay, let me just go back a little bit. The Phoenix Suns are in a tenuous situation given what happened with their owner. I'm going to go with Devin Booker because I don't know what's going to happen in Phoenix at this point. I have no idea what the players are going to react to Robert Saver's news. I can see an unhealing coming. And that's Stefan Bondy. He covers the Knicks. He's not one of my favorites, but I can see something great happening in the future for the Knicks because the Phoenix Suns are going to have some kind of fire sale. It's going to be a lot of players that want to leave that organization. So give me your opinion, Nation. Let me give you some of his averages and what he has done in the past. In the past 4 seasons, Devin Booker from 2018, he averaged 26 points a game basically from the start, from 2018-2019 season. We went out through 2019-2020 with the same average. 2020-21, 25 points per game, 26. So he averages about 25, 26 points a game. Look, if you look at his field goal percentage and his threes, he's a solid shooter from the outside. His threes gotten better last year. He hit 38% from the three line. He played 68 games. He's pretty durable. So I can see a Devin Booker, probably not this season, but probably in the near future, probably next year, Leon Rose bidding for a player like him. I think he's a CAA guy as well. So maybe there's something that could happen between now and then. So the playoff stats, he's still in the playoffs. He averages 26 points a game, 44% from the field, 35 from threes, and 90% from the free throw line. So that's pretty impressive to have a player like that. I mean, the Phoenix Suns would be crazy to trade a player right now, but what's going on over there, a fire sale should be coming soon. Like I said, we'll be on with Juby the Tubi. We'll discuss more of these things going on in a few. And if Nick Nation, if you have some comments, some questions concerning or opinion of what the Knicks should be doing between now and then, do you think the Knicks are going to be staying with this team as is? Do you see it Fournier leaving before this season starts? Because that's the key. We need to make room for a Cam Reddish to have more playing time. But a Devin Booker coming up in the future in a Knicks uniform would be very, very, very enticing. So right now with the draft capital that we have, if you look at our draft capital, we have 4 first-round picks in 2023. Okay, we have 1 first-round pick in 2024, 2 first-round in 2025, and 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. Now, the Knicks Nation they've been emailing me and commenting, yeah, we have all these assets, but Leon Rose seems like he doesn't know what to do with these assets. We let players like a Donovan Mitchell go. We could have some other players as well, but he's very tight. That purse of Leon Rose, he's looking for the right deal. And Nick Nation, give me your opinion. Is it Devin Booker? You see him as a Knick in the next couple of years, maybe next year. I don't know this year that they'll pull the string on something like that, but let's see what happens. We got Big Task. Big Task. Good evening, Big Task. How are you doing? Hope is well. I'm much better from the COVID attack and haven't done a live show in about a month, but thank you, Big Task at hand. I am back. Yeah, I know. Devin Booker is a new toy that we have to play with. Before it was Donovan Mitchell, but hey, it's a lot of turmoil out there. Why not? He's a CAA guy. He may be something that the Knicks may look up in the future. I'm not saying this year, but possibly next year. A big task ahead. Hey, we have to talk about something. Nick Nation, we need an all-star. We need a superstar like a Devin Booker here in New York. So to understand your your concerns of talking about look, the chance of us getting a Devin Booker, the way that Leon Rose is kind of tight, holding on to that person, holding out to these assets that we have, it is pretty laughable, Big Task. But I appreciate you, brother. I thank you for coming on and sharing. Yeah, I'm okay, man. I was out for about a month, man. It attacked my lungs, asthma, lungs, breathing, infection in my body. I was out, and but I'm better now. But thank you, Big Task. I'm 95% there. Probably another week, I'll probably be 100%. But I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I'm good. And at least you keep me laughing about this possible Devin Booker coming to New York. That's all a pipe dream. They talk about SGA as well. Why would Oklahoma even think about dealing? The latest thing I saw, Julius Randle going there. It's a lot of like nonsense and fake news out there. But I can see a Devin Booker coming here next year if he requests a trade and he's a guy. I can see the Knicks pulling some strings next year. The question is, what is Leon Rose going to give up for him? If he only wanted to give up only a couple of draft picks for Donovan Mitchell, a first-round draft picks, and a couple of players, Devin Booker is going to be worth a lot more than that. But we'll see. Yeah, Big Task, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you. So let's continue. So we have all these assets, but what are the Knicks going to do with all these assets? Right now, the projected roster right now, Knick Nation, Big Task, give me your opinion. Barrett, Brunson, Robinson, Grimes, or Randle. Is Fournier going to get traded before now and then? Is Grimes going to take those duties and be that 3-and-D guy or be that number 2 on the floor? It's a lot of questions. If it's me, I would put Fournier on the floor and let this kid Grimes play. Let these kids play. Let's see what we have in these kids, and hopefully we'll know what we have on them. We'll have some gems that maybe we can have some true assets to make some real trades. So, Knick Nation, give me your opinion. Barrett, Brunson, Robinson, Grimes, and Randle. Fournier, I think right now he has to come off the bench if he's still on this team. We have to find time for Cam Reddish. That's the key. You gave up a number 1 pick last year for him. We have to know what he's made of. Let's hope, Knick Nation, and let's pray that that Tom Thibodeau coaches these players and put them in a position to succeed. You have your guard already. He's going to put the players in the right position to succeed. The only thing right now, we need a competent coach that can make this team move cohesively, and the substitution patterns have to be in a way where he can make these players strive for their best, and we can know what we have in these young players at the end of the year. So maybe we can make a possible deal for a Devin Booker next year. So Knick Nation, also give me your opinion. If Tom Thibodeau does not get us into the playoffs this year, do you see him being terminated? I don't know about terminated. He's Leon Rose's pal. I think maybe find a job in the organization and probably get another coach in here. Give me your opinion, Knick Nation. Big Task. I think they're trying to trade Fournier, but which team would want him? Yeah, Big Task. I don't think nobody's going to want him. I think we're going to be stuck with him. I can see us probably trading him down the line, probably All-Star break, probably a playoff team in the playoff, depending how he responds or plays for the team, being traded then. I don't see any suitors right now. I think everybody has their lineups pretty much set. And he has a big tag to carry for another team to take on. So you make a good point, Task. I don't think no one right now wants either a Randle or a Fournier. I think the Knicks are going to be going with this team the way they are right now. So let's see what happens, Big Task. Thank you, sir. So these are the predicted roster for the Knicks, possible roster for the Knicks. We have some other players coming up. And we also picked up Daquan Jeffries. He played for the Summer League. I think this kid is very, very special. I see this kid having some play in the G League this year, but I can see this kid coming up this year, the team. he was very impressive in that summer league. He played well. He played like 48 games in the NBA, so he does have experience. So Jeffrey's 25, spent most of his 2 NBA seasons with the Kings after going undrafted out of Tulsa in 2019. He spent time near the end of the 2000-2001 season with the Rockets, then had a brief stint with the Grizzlies 2001-2022. In total, he averaged 3.8 points per game, 1.9, and 47 game appearances for Sacramento and Houston and Memphis. Jeffries had a larger role in the G League level since going pro, recording averages of 15.7 and 5.8. His shooting is not bad in 43 games. I think this is the kind of kid you have to give a shot at, and you never know. Look, the more time you give these kids to play, but I don't see this kid even making the team. I think it's between the G League and the Knicks organization. He's going to be playing in these preseason games coming up. So let's see what this kid is made of. We have a lot of young kids that are going to be coming on and playing. The Knicks currently have 15 players officially under contract, 13 on guaranteed standard deals, a pair on two-way packs, Gene Montero, Garrison Brooks, and also reported Exhibit 10 contracts. So it's unclear what the Knicks have plans for Jeffries. Let's see what happens and what he does. If he has a strong cap, then he's going to make the Knicks maybe put him at the end of the bench, but this kid needs to play. And Trevor Keels and a couple of these players like Montero, Garrison Brooks, I see them in the G League. I don't see these kids making the team at all. Nation, give me your opinion on what you think on these, Daquan Jeffries and the Knicks and these young players. So this basically gave you what Daquan Jeffries did in his 3 seasons and playing 48 games in the NBA. The numbers don't really stand out. His numbers really stood out basically when he played in the G League, and what he did basically in the summer league. He looked very impressive. So Nick Nation, give me your opinion. We'll be on with Juby the Tubi. He should be coming on a few. So here's a little highlights of him playing the games in the NBA. Basically for the teams, for the Rockets, Grizzlies, and the Kings. The last team, the Kings, he played for. Here's some highlights of this young stud. Number 19 on the floor. Seems like he's good at a stroke from the outside. His numbers don't really pop out. He pops out from the field goal percentage from the 3. He's not very strong as a 3-point shooter. He goes aggressively to the hoop. He's strong. He's lean. But I don't see the Knicks carrying him on the team at all. I can see him a G Leaguer. If there's an injury, maybe I could see him come in. But I don't know. I don't know what Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau have planned in terms of playing how far deep of the youth you really play. You still have some veterans on his team like a Rose and a Fournier that needs to get some playing time. So and then you have Cam Reddish, and you have a few other players on this team that need to have some play. So let's see what we have here. Nick Nation. So projected. We did the interview. Oh yeah. So Monica McNutt had an interview with
New York.
RJ Barrett.
My mom grew up in New York, so this, it's kind of like home to me. And everything about the Knicks, from the fans and just, playing in the Garden, it's been amazing.
It's been amazing. This is the expect to be the next All-Star for the New York Knicks. Nick Nation, give me your opinion. Who do you think is going to be the next All-Star for the New York Knicks? I think RJ Barrett is the guy who can be and carry this team. He's getting better every year. I think this kid can be the next All-Star for the Knicks. Maybe this year, maybe next year, but I think in the next couple of years, I can see him being the next All-Star. So I think by keeping RJ Barrett and not taking Donovan Mitchell, I think is very, very shrewd. And we'll go back to the interview that Jalen Jacoby had concerning why it was better for Donovan Mitchell to go to Cleveland and come into the Knicks.
Guys, they were both in the All-Star game this Donovan Mitchell, all summer long, we had him in a Knicks jersey. All summer long.
Spider-Man.
At the end of the summer, guess what? He's on the Cavs. It makes an exciting Cavs roster. He spoke to our colleague and friend, Brian Windhorst, about the potential of going to the Knicks, and he had a very interesting answer.
How close do you think you were? Did you feel you were to being a New York Knick?
It's disappointing.
Very close. I won't say more than that, but I know a little bit more than most, but definitely very close. And it didn't happen, and it was close. It was close to happen.
Very close to being a Knick. Now, you know where I stand on this. As a pseudo-die-easy Knick fan, I think that Donovan Mitchell's not the right fit for this team as currently constructed, especially after they signed Brunson. However, I bet this is going to disappoint a lot of Knick fans because they want that star in MSG.
I agree with that. And a lot of times, these are all elite players. Donovan Mitchell is an all-NBA caliber performer, one of the highest points per game in the playoffs, and did a terrific job of lifting Utah. And that series with him and Jamal Murray going back and forth in the bubble,
that was one of the best like sort of mano-a-mano 7-game series.
But the one thing about trades, it's one thing about the player. It's another thing about the timing. Mm-hmm. And on paper, let me tell you why this makes more sense than the Cavs, for the Cavs. I love the ascension of Darius Garland. I love Jared Allen. That's one of your guys.
Mobley.
They were both in the All-Star game this year. Mobley will be an All-Star soon. Now you trade for Donovan Mitchell, and I say this respectfully, he's better than all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now that means they're ready to take the next step. If you add him to the Knicks, that would be addition by subtraction.
I'm glad you brought this up.
And therefore, you're going to lose a RJ Barrett, you're going to lose a Quickly, you're going to lose a Toppin, and then you're going to put him with Brunson, you're going to put him with Randle, and it's not going to be enough.
Not going to work.
That makes sense, Knick Nation. I mean, these guys, I listen to these guys. They're very knowledgeable, and they say it as it is. Listen, the Knicks dodged a curveball big time. I mean, they dodged it big time because if the Knicks would have made this trade, Danny Ainge wanted it quickly, a Barrett and an OB Topping, and it was even interested in the Grimes as well. So even if you gave 2 of those 4 players up, I mean, Knick Nation, can RJ Barrett be an equivalent of a Donovan Mitchell or even better, Knick Nation? Give me your opinion, and I appreciate you guys. And big task is Jeffries would be good for the G League. Hopefully the West can win the G League title. Let's win some kind of title, big task. I'll settle for the title at Central Park right this juncture. Jupiter Tubi, hey brother, you're on my way. Okay, Jupiter Tubi, don't rush. I'm here in good company with Big Task. So Big Task, agreed. I'm so happy the trade didn't happen. Yeah, Big Task, we dodged a bullet big time. Because if we would have made a trade, we would have taken 3 steps back just to try to make 1 step forward. We actually now, I think we're a better team. To say this, and I don't know if Knick Nation is going to agree with this. I think right now we're a better team. And it sounds crazy, Knick Nation, without Donovan Mitchell because of the addition by subtraction type of ratio. We keep our youth. You play the youth. I think RJ Barrett can become an equivalent of a Donovan Mitchell, can take over the team in the next year or 2 and can be that all-star we're looking for. Now we're looking for that superstar, like a Devin Booker, maybe, possibly. If this stuff in Phoenix doesn't kind of simmer down a bit, maybe next year we can get a star player like that. It can have the ball in his hand and can just take control of the game. That's what the Knicks are missing. Can RJ Barrett potentially that type of player? We don't know. I think it could be an all-star. I don't know about a superstar. We don't have a superstar. And I think we need that superstar player. So, yeah, Big Task, I agree, man. I think we dodged the bullet by not making that trade. Thank you, Big Task. Yeah, Juby, I think we are 1 piece away. 1 piece. If we get a Devin Booker on this team, just a type of shooter, a person who can take over a game, the Knicks will be relevant once again. They definitely could make the 5-6 seed easily every year, if not the 4 seed, depending on how Tom Thibodeau coaches his team and how this youth develops along the way. So I totally agree. I think was so mad when the Knicks lost the Summer League title. Yeah, I mean, Think about it. We're one game. We could win finally a title in something. At this juncture, Big Task, I take the title for being the best checker player, which Leon Rose seems to be that checker player right now because he did put Danny Ainge in check. So if that's a victory in any way, I'll take it, But Big Task, you're right. I mean, come on, win something, man. A game of dominoes or something. Something. Card, something. Big Task, you're the man. If the trade of Donovan Mitchell went through, what would put the Knicks right back into yes. And a lot of Knick Nation don't understand. Donovan Mitchell sounds like a great name on this team, but Jalen Jacoby said it best. I mean, he is so suitable playing in Cleveland. Cleveland have the actual team that you can add a Donovan Mitchell, and you can make the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. And Knicks, even if you got a Donovan Mitchell, I think we probably get 8th, 7th seed in the playoffs. Without him, we're probably a play-in 8th seed. So are you going to take that chance? But if Tom Thibodeau can coach these young kids, and these young kids can explode and can show what they're made of, the Knicks can be a 7th seed as well. So it's a give and take. You have to find out what you have in your roster. And I think that's what Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau is going to find out this summer. And Tom Thibodeau, quickly, you better find out quickly. You might be probably not being our head coach next year. So I think Tom Thibodeau has a lot to prove if he can change his ways. Can old dogs change their old habits into new ones? I don't know, Knick Nation. Give me your opinion on that. I think that Tom Thibodeau is the key. They talk about Brunson, the key on the floor. He's going to give us that player that's going to put the other players in the situation to succeed. But now we need a coach that's going to put the players on the floor on the right time in substitution patterns in the time and need for the players to succeed. So it's a give and take. You have your leader on the floor in Brunson. Now we need the leadership on the bench in Tom Thibodeau. Knick Nation, my band of brothers, thank you. So like I mentioned before, my all-star for the Knicks, or my personal all-star, Big Task, give me your opinion, man. Who do you think is going to be right now? Looking at the roster right now as you see it, Big Task, who do you see the next all-star for the Knicks? I'm saying superstar and all-star who can have a season and make the all-star team. Can it be a Julius Randle once again? Can it be an RJ Barrett? Give me your opinion, Big Task. Jupiter Tubi should be here in a few. He's probably tuning in right now, and hopefully he'll be on in a few. But this is my man who's going to be the next all-star for the New York Knicks. RJ. Nation, I think that's that goal for him being a all-star for this team. I think that's in the making. I think this year he's going to show that he can have these abilities to take over games and do the same thing. And I think by next year, by the year 2023, 2024 season, I can see RJ being an all-star. If not this year, we need somebody to step up on this team. We know what Jalen Brunson is going to do, but we need somebody to stand out, to take over down 2 points, down by 3 with a minute left in the game. Who's going to take over? Who's going to take charge? The last person that we had on this team charge was probably a la Derrick Rose in the playoffs when you needed the ball in somebody's hands, or even a year that Randle had. Before that, I think it was Carmelo Anthony that you gave the ball in his hands and you're going to get some points. But here's Juby the Tubi, family above everything. Welcome, Juby. You made it, my friend. You made it, my friend. We were just talking about the next all-star Knicks, and I obviously picked RJ Barrett as our next all-star. In your opinion, and before we get to your opinion, I'm going to give much thanks to Big Task. He's been here hitting home runs for me while you were away. So I think Big Task might take over your chair there pretty soon, Juby the Tubi.
All right, Big Task.
So Big Task, I think RJ Barrett's going to step it up this season. I think that he's motivated to elevate his game and prove doubters wrong. So I think he's leaning toward maybe RJ Barrett as the next All-Star for the New York Knicks. If that's possible. I think it can happen. What do you think, Juby? And welcome to you and your family and everybody from Family Above Everything. Welcome, Juby the Tubi.
Familia, well, how you guys doing tonight? Appreciate you having me on here on Zenray Sports TV. And Zenray, I'm so happy that you're back, man. I know you're not. I know it's been a long journey, but I missed you, man. You know, I can't wait to see you and just give you a big hug, man. Because it's not the same when you're not around, man. But enough with this mushy stuff. Let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of stuff. I know I was watching a little bit of what you would, interview about Donovan Mitchell. I'm glad you brought that up. And I agree with you guys. I was listening in, and I'm glad that, I was a little bummed like Stephen A. Smith and upset that we didn't get something done. However, at the end of the day, they wanted the farm. And I'm glad we stuck with our young guys, and we're going to develop our young guys. And I agree with you 100%. I think RJ Barrett is going to have a big standout season. I think he does have a lot to prove. He knows that his name was mentioned in trade rumors. So he's going to have a lot to show the fans, show management, and basically, why they chose. He wants to display why there was a good investment for them locking him on for that extension. I also think Emmanuel Quickly, ladies and gentlemen, is going to have a very, very big season. I would not be surprised if Emmanuel Quickly becomes a very big vocal point and a player from that bench. I'm talking about 25 to 35 minutes. He's going to be the new Alex Burke, in my opinion, who's going to get a lot of those minutes. We saw him take a upside, and I'm excited, guys. Like I said, I know that I don't want to get ahead of myself and say that the Knicks are going to have a fantastic year and we're definitely a playoff team. I will tell you that we're an exciting team, but like I mentioned in your comments, Zenray, I still think we're one piece away from being a contender, not from a definite lock, but just from being in the conversations. And there's a lot of players that are going to be coming up in the next few years. And I know that's years away. And, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves like we did with Donovan and years past. But, I'm excited, man. And a little bummed because I heard that Carmelo Anthony is not in the talks anymore. I'm always going to root for Carmelo. I know you guys hate that about me, but I just listen. It's a connection. He's from New York, Syracuse guy. He's a great person. And wherever he lands, I wish him nothing but the best.
I totally agree, and thank you, Juby, for your input and big task. Thank you, man. You've been hitting home runs, and I just want to give you LJ, brother. You get an LJ for your support, man. I appreciate you. Give me one more LJ for big task, and there you go. My favorite players in Nick back then, LJ Grandmama. So, getting back to your point, I don't want to go back. If we mention if an RJ Barrett or another player on this team, I'm just going to say RJ Barrett, becomes an all-star this year, and Emmanuel Quickly becomes the sixth-man player of the year. Now we have something brewing here. I think now we have this team cohesively going in the right direction. And even if we make a 7th seed and we get into the first round, we're competitive in that first round, and we get lucky enough and we can win a round here. Or maybe if we lose it, but make it competitive, maybe to the last game.
Even if we win 2 games, Zenray, it's better than what we did 2 years ago.
Sure.
So we don't have a lot that we need to do to show progression. We just got to make the playoffs, even if it's like you said, if a play-in tournament or 7th seed, and we got to win just 2 games and just be exciting. And Knicks media and Knicks family will be happy. They'll be content.
Listen, I just want the Knicks not to be the laughingstock of the NBA. I am tired of the Knicks not getting the breaks, not getting the plays, being the laughingstock. Everybody talking negatively about the Knicks. Knicks never getting any credit for anything. But the Knicks have to earn that. And I think Leon Rose has started something here where we're going to start earning respect. Because any other GM would have made these trades, and we would have had Donovan Mitchell. We would have had the point guard we just got picked up, Brunson, in that front court that plays no defense. We would have lost probably an OB or probably a Quickly and a Barrett. That would have taken us so many, and a Grimes possibly, and we would have taken a step back. GM, any other GM, I guarantee you, even a Scott Perry if he was there, just the pressure of getting a player of that caliber, he would have made that move. And thank God Leon Rose is just collecting resources. I had something up here. Let me just look for it. What the Knicks have in terms.
While you look for that, Zenray, I will tell you there is one person that I feel that is going to be in the hot seat and that's going to feel the pressure. And it's not a player. I think the players are going to be fine. I think Brunson is going to have a fantastic year. The kid is for real. And I've been watching so much of his pickup YouTube games that people are recording. And exactly. the kid is Brunson. The kid is just he's ready. Take the city by storm. But the person who I think is going to be in the super hot seat is Tom Thibodeau. And I will say that I would not be surprised if Tom Thibodeau the team does not do well. I would not be surprised if they move forward from him mid-season. I'm not going to say at the beginning. I would say I would not be surprised if they move from him mid-season. I wish we had somebody like a Jason Kidd. Kidd, man, I was listening to his interview on Brunson, on what he told him when Brunson got there.
I'm gonna put that on. Right, I'm glad you reminded me.
Play. Just listen to how his language, what he teaches these young kids. It's truth, it's fact, and that's what we want here at Knick Nation. And I hope Tom Thibodeau can deliver, because if he doesn't, then somebody like Jason Kidd, I don't know who's gonna be out there, but what a talent, man! Great talent.
Yeah. I totally agree. Look, I think Tom Thibodeau. I don't think Leon Rose is going to fire him in the middle. He would have to be doing being 20 games out of not winning games like he did last year for him to be fired. But I think that that Tom Thibodeau will probably last a year and he'll probably put in other responsibilities. But I don't see the Knicks firing him at all. I don't see him firing in the middle of the year at all. I see him lasting the year out, and you could be. I don't know, Juby. I think Tom Thibodeau has a longer leash than we think, just because of Leon Rose. Wow, video here. I can't find it. Jeez, that was
take your time. I see that you have up on display, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We have 4 first-round picks in 2023. 1 in 2024, 2 first-rounders in 2025, and 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years combined. So let me ask you guys a question. And if you guys don't catch us live, if you guys can comment this down in the section. Next year's 4 picks. Do you look for somebody this offseason to package that for, or do you make your selections and look for more young talent with the young talent that we already have? Because we already have a great asset team. I mean, there's a reason Danny Ainge wanted all these players, Grimes, Quickly, Obi Toppin, and RJ Barrett, is because you can build a great foundation, which we're going to be doing. So do you have the room to keep drafting young players, or do you move these picks to put yourself in a position to get Ojanobi from Toronto, that I'm hearing that they're very hot on, and you never know who becomes available next season. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of players, and I'm sorry I don't have those free agents who are going to be next year. I kind of took a break. I got
the guy from Boston. The guy from Boston.
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, hey. and who was the other player that we spoke about that's available for next year? I can't think of from the top of my head. We did a show on it before I got ill. But there's a couple of players. Jaylen Brown, I think, is going to sign with Boston. I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah. Who's the other player? Wow, it's killing me. I'll look it up in a few.
Yeah, because it's baffling me. I mean, I don't know. And I said that after Donovan Mitchell. Who's left? Are we gonna wait for an old LeBron James son to come out of high school and college in hopes that we're gonna draft him and then he's gonna say he wants to play for the Knicks at 41 years old? Respectfully, LeBron is one of the greatest players of our generation. Not the best player of my time. That'll always be his Royal Airness Jordan. But LeBron James is definitely up there. I put Jordan, Kobe, and then LeBron of my era. And I just don't know, Zenry. I don't know who's left, who's out there. Some of these guys are locked in for years that I was interested in.
Okay, so these are the players that are available in 2023. Andrew Wiggins, who seems like Golden State is shopping around.
I'm hearing rumors now. I don't want to get into this rumorville with you guys tonight, but I have been hearing that Golden State was entertaining the Knicks draft assets and not interested in too much on their players that they have now. Of course, they want some young talent, but they're interested in their first round picks for Andrew Wiggins. So that's something to look out for in the future.
Hey, he's the kind of guy who can take over a game. He's a little, could be a little head case here and there, but I think he's been doing well the last couple of years. So in summer 2023 is Andrew Wiggins, Chris Middleton, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron James. And then in 2024, Devin Booker is available.
That would be a dream come true if we was to get Devin Booker here.
2024 is LeBron James again because he goes year to year. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson.
Clay's a good one.
Yeah, Clay. You have quite a few players here.
See, when I think of upcoming free agents, I think of who can fit with an RJ Barrett. I know Lonzo Ball, and I'm gonna, before we get into Lonzo Ball, I know he's gonna be a free agent in the next year or two. But we got Jalen Brunson, who's our point guard. We invested $104 million plus into the guy. We don't need somebody like Lonzo Ball, but somebody like Klay Thompson, absolutely. You know what I mean? LeBron James, like I said, the Knicks fan in me will say you passed on us twice, especially the year you went to Miami. And thank you, but no thank you. Finish your legacy in LA, and that's it. I really don't want no part of LeBron James. I don't know how you feel about LeBron James.
LeBron James, that ship has sailed a long time ago, Juby. He's made his bed. I think he's going to finish his career in Los Angeles and try to win one more championship. I think his window's closed. I think maybe he has 2 or 3 years. And I think he's going to end up playing with his son, and they'll be the first father and son combination to ever play in the NBA on a team in the NBA. So these are the point guards that are available in 2024 to 2025 season. We got Mike Conley, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tyus Jones, Michael Fultz, Kyle Lowry, DeJounte Murray is available, Cameron Payne. Shooting guards, we have any top guys, Eric Gordon, Grayson Allen, Garrett Temple, Klay Thompson again. That's the same Klay Thompson. I mean, no big names that'll hit you crazy.
No wow factors.
No wow factors. Yeah. And I think I think that Devin Booker has an out sometime next year in his contract as well, will become a free agent. So that's the reason why I think the Knicks may have a chance for him. I don't know, man. And Big Tass is right. He was laughing and saying, "Oh, now it's Devin Booker." Before it was Donovan Mitchell. It seems like the Knicks fall in love with a player. The SGA that we're talking about, SGA is not going nowhere. Oklahoma is not going to trade him. I was watching rumors on some YouTubers saying Julius Randle going out there. Why do they want a 27-year-old with such a young team? That's not going to happen. So look, Knick Nation, there's a lot of crazy things going on, and I appreciate you guys. I'm back first time in a month. I was dealing with COVID trauma. I got the COVID bug, and I'm like 90% there. I'll be 100% by next week. But besides that, Juby, in your eyes right now, if you had to say who would be your all-star, next Knicks all-star, if you had to take a guess?
Who's lined up for it, and who I foresee in the near future, like meaning next year, next season, or this season, that would be RJ Barrett. He's going to be one of our leaders. Who I think has potential to be an all-star is Obi Toppin, and I will continue to say that. But I don't know. He needs the playing time, and we need we need Julius respectfully to move on, even though he's still very talented, man. 20 and 10 and 5 player. Nothing against him, but he's 28 right now, and the team needs to decide what they're gonna do. And in my opinion, he's not old, but he doesn't fit the Knicks' plans. And right, if you look at the age differential, it doesn't match up what they're trying to accomplish. Like if you got a Donovan Mitchell, then I would say, and didn't give up all those assets, and you still had Julius, then I would say, okay, Julius fits. But Julius right now, in a funny way, is the Taj Gibson of the team, along with Derrick Rose, who doesn't fit. As much as I'm a big Derrick Rose fan, these are the two guys that don't fit with the direction that the team are going with.
I agree.
So something needs to happen because
Fournier, Randle, and Rose. Yes,
that's it. They just the Knicks management just decided they want to build from the young kids. I hope Tom Thibodeau is on board with that because we all know how Tom Thibodeau can love to play his veterans. But I mean, unless they start winning, like you said, unless they start winning games or going in the other direction, is the only way I see things falling, either going well for us or falling apart. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to see another non-successful season. I'd rather just tank and play the young kids, let them get experience, have a lot of fun, and lose than us lose with Julius Randle, Derrick Rose breaking down at the end of the year, and Evan Fournier playing 40 minutes a game.
Yeah, we need big years from Randle. We need big years from a couple of players in that starting rotation. But I'm telling you this, quickly, like you mentioned, couldn't be the equivalents to Burks of what Thibodeau used. And then Quentin Grimes will be what Quickly was in terms coming behind a Burks. So I could see that tandem being very special. But once again, we need a Cam Reddish sighting.
I agree.
We need a Cam Reddish sighting because that kind of athleticism doesn't grow on trees in the NBA. You need players like that. And I think the Knicks have to find out what we have in them. If not, then we have to trade them. We have to bring up the value of these players. Julius Randle, if you see him having a great first half and you get bids for him at the All-Star break, then you're going to have to make a move and make a move for him. If you see Cam Reddish having a great, successful year, his contract year is coming up, then if you think you get some value for him, I hate to say trade him, but you have to find out what you have in your players and what teams and what players keep here. I can see Cam Reddish being very effective in that starting rotation or coming off the bench with a Quickly.
I agree, Zenray, and he's definitely one player who I would love to see part of the rotation. And I don't mean just 1 or 2 minutes a game. I would like to at least see him play 15 minutes a game minimum because he's that talented. The kid is good, man. We followed him from college, from when he first got drafted by Atlanta. And, now I want to see him play. But I don't want to give him up for draft capital, Zenray. I think we have enough draft picks. And like I just said a few minutes ago, at what point do you sit there and say, okay, we got 4 picks next year. Are we going to draft? What are we going to do with all these players? Or are we going to use these assets and move and put ourselves in a position where we can be in a conversation? And I keep saying that, in a conversation for being a serious team. Because right now the Cleveland Cavaliers are a better team than the Knicks. There's a lot of teams that are ahead of us. Philly, Atlanta. The Knicks right now, as much as us Knicks fans like to say that we're right there. We're very close. We are still ways away, guys. I know, and I still think we're one piece away from being in that conversation. When I mean a piece, I don't mean just a regular player. I mean somebody who's a superstar, a star. Yeah, 100%.
You get a Giannis here. You get a Devin Booker because Giannis contract in 2 years he'll be available as well. But the Bucks are not gonna.
They would be crazy to let him go.
Hey, he's the franchise. You're not gonna give a player like that.
They'll put a statue of him in the
without a doubt. Yeah. Big Taz gave you a compliment there, Juby. Very well said. Julius Randle is now the Taj Gibson. Very well put. I don't know about that. I don't think Taj Gibson ever did a 2010 in his career, but it's
he did Chicago. He did in Chicago. Taj Gibson was great.
20 and 10, not 20. I don't think Taj Gibson did it.
I don't know 20 and 10, but I remember years ago, Nick Nation, the Knicks were in talks to trading Carmelo Anthony for Taj Gibson back when we Phil Jackson turned his team into I don't know what. I don't even want to get into that. But there was talks about doing that, which was really funny, man. But
you know something? Julius Randle gets a lot of kind of gets heckled by the fans because look, if he plays his game and just shuts up and be the professional Taj Gibson was, if you get something out of Taj Gibson, is get that just to being a professional and play the game. That's what Taj Gibson was. But you get a lot of shenanigans from Julius Randle. I think the key to Julius Randle is Jalen Brunson and his dad on the bench, and even RJ Barrett on that floor, just to keep his mind in the game. Because when he loses his mind, he goes a different direction. He doesn't play defense. He starts pouting. He just starts doing foolish fouls. He does a lot of negativity that hurts not only the team on the floor, but just brings down the whole team in general. Because you can't have a guy on the team who's a bad apple. Hopefully he fixes that and becomes a better person. Not in his play. When he wants to play, he can play. It's just getting his mind straight. And if he can do that, I think the Knicks can have a special year. But that all depends.
I'll be honest with you guys. Big Task and Zenray and Nick Nation. Here's my issue with Julius Randle. I'm afraid for the guy, and I'll tell you why. I hate to say afraid, because the guy is talented basketball wise. But what I'm afraid is he's gonna go into a shooting slump, and the first week of the season, and Madison Square Garden is gonna start calling for Obi Toppin, and they're gonna start booing Julius Randle, and we all know how his psyche is. So I pray, Nick Nation, I'm praying to the blue skies that Julius Randle, comes out of the season and he's red hot, and then we can just forget about last season of last year's shenanigans. But if it doesn't happen and he comes out shooting bricks and he's getting into foul troubles and all that stuff, you better believe Nick Nation is going to let him know, and they're going to start booing him and putting their thumbs down and chanting for Obi.
Yeah, look, you don't want that to happen, because what you want to do with Julius Randle, you want to do like what you do with a old house. You renovate it and then you flip it. That's the same thing you want to do with Julius Randle. You want to renovate his mind, his soul, his heart, metaphor. And just kind of flip him once he's hot and flip him when he's right, so you can get some good value from him. Right now, you can't get a bag of chips for him right now because they want a number one pick in return for taking Julius Randle. It tells you how bad the value he has. And I don't know if it's maturity, because he is 27 years old. I don't know if it has to do with a lot of maturity, or he's just once he gets caught playing the game, his mind he floats into this negative air of wanting to be the man when he's not the man, when he's not showing to be the man. Big Taz says Julius Randle, while he is talented, might be the right fit with the signing of Jalen Brunson. Julius Randle will need to be off ball, which probably he wouldn't want that role. No, I think he'll go with that role. I think, Tom Thibodeau gave him a lot of responsibilities, Big Taz. Too much. I think now we're having a general on the floor, and now that Julius Randle can concentrate what he does best, getting down low, getting your rebounds, maybe getting a shot, getting fouled, whatever it is. But you have to learn, when you get the double team down, is to get it back out to Brunson, or maybe get out to the open man in a Barrett or Quentin Grimes, or even a Mitchell Robinson will be available there. So you have to kind of play smart. He's been doing that. He was off and on a little bit last year, but when he was pouting last year, he didn't want to play defense. He didn't dive on the floor for the balls. He didn't hustle. He didn't even pick up his fellow players from the floor when they were on the ground. It was just a negative year for him. We're going to forgive that and let that go, and let's see what this Julius Randle. But I think having Brunson here is the key to turning around Julius Randle's career. And if he can't turn his career around by having a point guard finally here, then I think we're going to lose in this in the asset. And the Knicks are probably going to have to wait it out and just play him and probably put him on the bench, come off the bench, or even split Obi 24 minutes and give him 24 minutes. I don't think he'll like that as well. He'll pout. But you're going to have to find out when you have an Obi Toppin. You can't just hope and pray that this Julius Randle is going to pop out of his, he's going to go back into a normal self-behaving human being. I don't know. And you can see how different this Julius Randle and Obi Toppin is. They're like night and day. Obi Toppin smiles, has fun with the game, doesn't take things so serious, doesn't argue calls. He kind of plays the game and goes with the flow of the game, because you're not going to get all the calls in NBA. You're not going to get this, but you let things balance out at the end. So you have to play that. And I don't think that he has that mindset that Obi has, that fun-loving game of loving the game and just
or that RJ has. I mean, I don't know if you played the interview of RJ Barrett, Zenray. The terrible interview, Nick Nation. I'm sorry to say that's my one flaw with this Knicks management right now.
My mom grew up in New York, so this it's kind of like home to me. And
there you go.
Just everything about the Knicks, from the fans and just playing in the Garden, it's been amazing.
He sounds like a kid who grew up in New York. He
wants the challenge.
Was from here. Yeah,
he wants the challenge. He wants the challenge. But big task. No, don't read that one. I retracted the comment. It's okay. It's all good. No. Oh boy. All right. Okay. So I think maybe what you're saying is having a Jalen Brunson here, big task, is a blessing for Julius Randle, because I think he doesn't have to do so much with the ball or do so much like he has to be the man. Hey, Aiden, how you doing, future Knicks star? But yeah, okay, big task. I got you. Listen, we all agree here that right now that Julius Randle is the key to knowing what we have on the Knicks. And look, Juby, I think Julius Randle having Brunson here, like Big Task mentioned, like I mentioned, can change his way about going things. I think if you just concentrate on his game and what he's supposed to do and collaborate with the whole team and everybody gets to move the ball around, I think this Knicks team can be a very underrated team this year. A lot of teams are saying they're the 12th best team in the league, 11th best team in the league. But I think they're going to open some eyes. I think they can play. If they play to what Tom Thibodeau, and depends how Tom Thibodeau coaches as well, we can get into the play-in 8th seed. Do you see any higher than that, Juby, possibility?
You know what's funny? You just said the key word, Tom Thibodeau. It depends on what he does, Henry. It depends on the lineups that he uses, the players that are in rotation. Thankfully, Alex Burke is no longer his butler, and he got shipped out. So we still got Julius here. But hopefully, like you said, with a point guard here, Julius won't have to be going left and dribbling into double teams. We can let Brunson run the show now and spread the floor and get the open man the shot. And it should be exciting, man. And if that does happen and he plays with these young kids, then I can see possibly the Knicks not having to be in a play-in, and they can make it maybe 6 or 7. They might surprise us. However, that is reaching. And I'm gonna say that us Knicks fans like to reach a lot. So listen, we did it once before. We did this. We did the Cinderella season, and we shocked the NBA when we were 8th seed and made it to the finals and lost to the Spurs. Anything can happen. It just all matters on like I said, Tom Thibodeau and Julius Randle.
We had Jeff Van Gundy as coach back then, and he was terrific.
That's Jeff Van Gundy. Jeff Van Gundy. I know.
Van Gundy.
And he says we're 12th. He says we're 12th. So that just comes to show you.
It tells you, look, we have to play. Jeff Van Gundy's defense was crazy defense. I think his defensive schemes are much better than what Tom Thibodeau coaches. I don't know. I just saw that our players bought into Jeff Van Gundy. The question is, are the Knicks players buying into Tom Thibodeau? I don't know. I think last year when the young kids were there, they bought into him. But let's see what he does. Look, we can easily criticize Tom Thibodeau. Leon Rose did throw him some curveballs. He bought him a Cam Reddish. He didn't want a Cam Reddish on the team. He's very particular what players he wants. He wants veteran players who've been there before. Now, if you look at a RJ Barrett, you look at a Julius Randle, they're almost like your veteran players. They've been in 3 seasons, 4 seasons, 5 seasons in the league. You have a Quentin Grimes second year coming in. You have a Jericho Sims second year. You have a Deuce McBride second year. You have a Quickly a third. OB a third year here. You're forming something special, but let's learn how to cohesively come together as a team. And it all starts with Brunson and Julius Randle. Finally, we need Julius Randle to buy in. If Julius Randle could buy in, this team can go a long way. If he doesn't buy in and starts pouting, question is, we need to see Obi topping on the floor, Juby.
Agreed. Agreed. And you know what, Zera? What did I tell you last season that this team lacked? I said this team last season lacked identity from players and from management. Hopefully now, because the Donovan Mitchell mayhem is over, we have a little bit of an identity that we're going to go young. And Tom Thibodeau decides to sit there and live up to that expectation and go young. And then everybody will be on board and the kids will start having fun. Like I said, it sounds like we finally have our identity. That was my big talk last season, is that the team had no they didn't know who they were. They didn't know if they were veterans, if they were young kids. They didn't know what direction they were going. Knicks management finally looks like they have a direction. The players are like they're on board, and it looks like Julius is on board. Question is Tom Thibodeau on board? That will have to see.
Question. Brooklyn in the house. Wacko.
All right.
Welcome, Wacko. Randle's style of play doesn't fit. Gotta go. Love New York Knicks. 100%. All right. Brooklyn in the house. Wacko, thank you for your comments.
We agree with you, Wacko. We just got to get his value up.
Yeah, Wacko makes a good point, man. But I think with a Brunson, man, I think you have no choice of playing Randle. You have to get his value up. And look, I'm saying this. If his value does go up and he plays that first half good, he's gone at the All-Star break to someone. And then you bring Obi Topping. Obi Topping next year, his contract needs to be – it's going to be his last year of his contract the following year. You're going to have to give him some money. The question is Obi Topping want to still be that second fiddle on the team? I think he's gone either or. So you have – Knicks Nation has to make a choice. Is it Obi or is it Randle? I think Randle is out. Right now, you can't get anything from him. Randle and Fournier, nobody wants. Not at all. So I think you're going to have to wait for the All-Star break to make these deals happen. Wacko from Brooklyn, greatly appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on. So, Juby, anything else that you're hearing out there in terms of October 4th? We play the Detroit Pistons at Madison Square Garden. We're going to see a lot of these. We spoke about Jeffries, the new Nick there. The Knicks signed 25-year-old Daquan Jeffries to a training camp deal on an Exhibition 10 contract. Former Grizzlies, Rockets,
the future G leaguer. He's not making the
no, I don't
club,
think he's
guys.
making the team either. Yeah, I don't think he's making it either. But you have to bring 20 guys in for the preseason, see what you have. You may find a diamond in the rough. Keels, Jeffries, and who was that other guy we're very high on in G League? We spoke about him last week.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Yeah, so these guys are G Leaguers at best. Because you have to give these guys playing time. You could probably get some veterans down in the bench area. You're not going to have these kids, rotting in that, 11th, 12th position. But right now, if you look at the Knicks team right now, if you look at their team, it's going to be Barrett. It's going to be Brunson, Robinson,
that's what we
Grimes, and Randle. And then in your bench, let's see, in your bench, you have Quickly, Rose, Reddish, Fournier, Topping, Hartenstein, and Sims.
I hope.
So that's 11 players there. So how many players on the bench that they keep? They keep 12?
Yeah, I think it's 12. I mean, they normally I think 14, 15, but 3 don't dress. And then you gotta remember the Knicks normally don't go with and I'm gonna say Knicks, I mean Tom Thibodeau. He doesn't go with normally a 10, 11 man rotation. As the season progresses, he winds down that rotation to about 8 or 9 players.
This is 12,
and that's a very, very key thing to find out who makes that cut. It's not like in football where you don't make the cut, they cut you out of the team completely. But in this case, like I said, I love that starting lineup, Zenray. I hope Quentin Grimes actually starts alongside RJ Barrett and Brunson and Randle and Mitch. To me, that's the lineup to go with. But we said it before, 80 million reasons why Quentin Grimes will not be starting. He'll probably play a lot of minutes, but I still think Evan Fournier is going to be at the 2, and he'll play the first 3-4 minutes of the game, then get taken out for Grimes, and then he'll play the end of the games in the fourth quarter as well. that kind of thing, because you can't have $85 million just sitting on a bench.
Right.
And that's the problem. You know, that I think all Knicks fans want to see that starting lineup, and then off the bench they want a Derrick Rose, quickly, Obi Toppin, Cam Reddish, and Hardenstein or Jericho Sims. You know, I mean, that's the ideal lineup. But again, we got training camp coming up. We got preseason coming up, and Knicks management has been staying away from the media. They don't answer no questions, which I don't agree with whatsoever. I understand why they're doing it, but I think the time is going to have to come where Tom Thibodeau, Leon Rose, and Knicks players are going to actually have to meet with the Ian Begley and all these guys and answer some questions, and not just season ticket holders who are scripted on what they're going to ask in the questions already before they even ask them.
I totally agree. I think Leon Rose right now, he is playing a cat and mouse game. He doesn't want to deal with the media because the media is so negative. The media tends to want to poke at things that they shouldn't be poking at. They'll talk about the past. They talk about what happened with the picks. What are you doing with the picks? Why you didn't pick the draft pick when you had an opportunity to have a draft pick? Look, it's a lot of things that Leon Rose have to organize, and I think the media is the last place he wants to deal with. He doesn't owe us anything at this juncture. Let him play out the season. Now, if we have another bad season with Tom Thibodeau there, he needs to come up and speak, because if you don't, then if Tom Thibodeau is going, you might be just going with him as well. I don't think Leon Rose is going anywhere. I think that the owner, Dolan, is here for the long haul with Leon Rose. I think, Juby, like I said this before, I don't think that Tom Thibodeau is the appropriate coach for the New York Knicks at this juncture, especially with these young players. So I can see another head coach. And let me get to the coach that I really wanted, and I love them as a player. So let's put that interview on really quick before we go. And here is the interview with Jason Kidd.
Oh, man.
AB, Brunson, losing Brunson. But the biggest thing is I'm happy that he got paid.
Yes.
He helped us.
Because you've been there.
Yes. I know Cuban doesn't like this, but I love when I can help people get paid. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell a player first day of camp, hey, tell me what you want. Well, everybody wants shots. Everybody wants minutes, but that's not the truth. Mm-hmm. They want to get paid, and they want to play. Mm-hmm. Cool. I can help you do that.
Yeah, right.
Okay. But the other part of that is I'm just going to ask for a couple things. Mm-hmm. Just trust and communicate and play hard. And if you ask Brunson, he would tell you that he listened and good things happened. Did he ever? And I only want to put people in a position to be successful. Right? That's it. Mm-hmm. And there's 30 companies in the NBA. Mm-hmm. We all can't stay on the same company. Yeah. So for him to go to New York, to get paid, to have the opportunity to run his own team, I'm happy for him.
I'm happy for him too. Listen, Jason Kidd has turned out to be a hell of a coach. Absolutely. And we had opportunity to get him in the past. And I know he wanted to coach the Knicks. He even put his hat and to put his name out there to see if he can coach a team. The Knicks were in disarray back then. What a perfect young coach to have with these young players. And a Jason Kidd, a guy who was an all-star in terms of his play. I mean, he was a fantastic player. Look, we need an innovative coach who's been there before. Jason Kidd would have been a perfect coach for the Knicks. Juby, give me your opinion on that.
Yeah, listen, we were rooting for Jason Kidd. You know, we had a couple of coaches before Tom Thibodeau came into light that we wanted. You know, we said Jason Kidd. We wanted Mark Jackson. We wanted a reunion with Jeff Van Gundy, of course. But fact of the matter is, we got Tom Thibodeau, man. And you know, but real quick, back to your whole Leon Rose not speaking with the fans. I said this before, Knick Nation, and all the fans that watch us and who watch me and watch me here on Zen Ray Sports TV. I said it before. To play in this city, you have to be thick-skinned. That goes for players. That goes for coaches. That goes for management. If you ain't thick-skinned and if you don't got that swag, then guess what? It's time for you to move out and go down to Utah, Salt Lake City, or a team like that. Because in New York, you get nothing but the truth. Even though the truth hurts sometimes, the fans will give it to you whether you're in a good mood or not. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. Thank you, Juby. Wacko, Brooklyn in the house. Wacko. I believe Tibbs trusts quickly to start over Grimes, but Fournier is the logjam. Fournier. You said it, man. You said it. Great observation, Wacko. You get an LJ for that, brother. That was great. He is right. Look, you're right. When you have somebody blocking, like it's a bad clog in your drain, man. It's like having eaten meat the night before and having it clogged in your intestines. You can't do number two because you're clogged. That's what Fournier is. He's just clogging the middle. And you know what I'm saying?
What a metaphor. Evan Fournier is a clogged intestine. Now when I see him play a bad game, I'm going to refer to him as the clogged intestine, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, too much of that French bread, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, he's right, man. Maybe a bad metaphor and all that. And I'm just having fun with this. But Wacko was right. Fournier he's sitting there blocking everyone from getting playing time. You know, I mean, Cam Reddish needs to get playing time. We have to know what we have in him, what kind of value we have, if we decide to trade him or not. But Fournier and Randle by the All-Star break, if you can make something happen for a playoff team that needs an extra scorer, this is the time to move these guys. Right now, no one wants them. 19 million reasons for Fournier, and the contract that Randle has and his attitude or his mindset is not right. People don't want to take a chance. People are asking for first-round picks in return, knowing that Leon Rose has all these first-round picks. They want to attach it to Julius Randle if they take him. It tells you the value of a Randle. It tells you the value of Fournier. Fournier plays no defense. There's no team out there who want him. All-Star break, they need a score off the bench. Well, you need some quick points. Fournier is your guy. But look, man, Wacko, like I said, you get another LJ for that, man. You definitely get an LJ for that because that's a good point. I mean, Fournier is that guy who's clogging the lane, clogging your drain. He is the guy who is stuck in the middle, and right now the Knicks can't. They can't. They're just stuck, and Fournier needs to be moved. Once you move him, everything clears. That drain clears. You know, you're ready. Your body is clear, and you can.
We need that Pepto. We need that Pepto Bismol. We need that Drano to get him out of here.
Hey, Wacko, we have a little fun here, man. I'm just coming back from being having the COVID bug, so this is my first show back in 30 days. So I appreciate Wacko for you being on, man. And once again, Nick Nation, Juby is going to have a show on Wednesday. Juby, tell them on your station what's going on with you on Wednesday.
Yeah, Nick Nation, I apologize. I haven't been doing any show. Like I said, Zenry was out, so I had to pick up some of the slack on our personal work lives. And I had a lot of hours and, a lot of stuff going on, so I wasn't able to come on here and upload some stuff and come in here live with you guys. But definitely on Wednesday, I'm going to drop some videos for you guys. I have some ideas, putting things together. So if you guys can come on Wednesday about 7:30, I'll come on here live, share some different stuff that we didn't speak about tonight, and maybe some stuff that we did as well. But I would appreciate you guys. And again, for me, I appreciate me being on here as always, Zenray Sports TV. And with that said, I'm out, Zenray. I appreciate it, my brother. Thank you for having me on. And family above everything, brother.
Thank you. And we have Wacko. Makes another good point here, Juby, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good night, sir. Wacko, I would love to see McBride play spot minutes, but Rose, once again, the vet is blocking him too. Wacko, you make a great point. Look, McBride, if you give him enough playing time, he can show you what he's made of. And I think Rose, as a vet, is going to get more playing time than him. The only thing about Rose, he's injury prone. So I don't know how many minutes he's going to get. I think McBride can get more time this year just because of Rose's inability to stay healthy. But you're right. When Rose is playing, you're taking a lot of minutes away from McBride. The question, Wacko, can Tom Thibodeau collectively change his ways and stop playing these young kids and give less minutes to the veterans? That's a very hard task for Tom Thibodeau to do. I think Tom Thibodeau is set in his ways, and I think that if he doesn't change his ways, he has one foot out the door in that coaching position. I think he'll find something in the organization because that's Leon Rose's boy, and he's not going to fire his best friend or his buddy. So I can see him being in an organization, being a scout or be doing or whatever. on the team, but I think I can. If Tom Thibodeau is not coached well in the first couple of months, I can see him out the door real fast, and Johnny Bryant can step right in there and see what he can do. But Wacko, you make a good point. 2 good points in Fournier and good point in Rose. We have to get these veterans out of here. So thank you, Wacko. No, I guess you don't want Johnny Bryant. Give me your opinion, Wacko and Nick Nation. Tom, who would you like replacing Tom Thibodeau if he is not capable of coaching this team next year? If we had to make a switch, would you like another head coach or like a Mark Jackson? He's still available out there. He's been blackballed by the NBA because of his religious kind of not beliefs, but in terms of him talking his religion amongst players and staff members and things like that. So he's been blackballed from the NBA. So Wacko, give me your opinion. If not Johnny Bryant, who would you like to be the next head coach? So give me your opinion, Nick Nation, my band of brothers. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has come on tonight. Wacko, you made some good points, and you get the LJ for the night as well. And Big Task, you've come up big this year as well, and for this show especially. So you get a LJ as well, Big Task. So let's see what happens. So Wacko saying no Tibbs won't change. Hey Wacko, he's going to be out the door if he doesn't change. You have to. You mentioned it. You said it best. You have to give. You have to give McBride. You have to give the Cam Reddishes. You have to give these young players a chance to shine. And if you don't give them the playing time, and you definitely have to give Obi minutes, more than 20 minutes a game. And yes, I love Jason Kidd too, man. What a perfect coach that would be on this team, man. But he's obviously with Dallas right now. I would trade a Julius Randle for Jason Kidd right now just to bring Jason Kidd here. I don't think Mark Cuban is going to go for that. But listen, Wacko, you've made some good points. I appreciate you and for coming on. And I want to just mention to Nick Nation that if you get a chance, you hit the like button there, subscribe. It's free. It'll just promote this channel and change the algorithm that YouTube has, putting me and other channels and other people to be aware of my standing here. So I thank you, Nick Nation, my band of brothers. I appreciate you guys. And remember, guys, I'm going to be on weekly now. I'm going to start coming on Thursdays, basically, at 9 p.m. Friday seems to be a tough spot for people to come on and watch me. So give me your opinion, Nick Nation, at a certain time. But I think Thursdays I'll be coming at 9 p.m. between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. around there, maybe at 9 p.m. sharp. Give me your opinion, Nick. Appreciate you. Don't forget to, subscribe, give a thumbs up, give a little comment here and there. Wacko, Big Task, you've been the LJs for tonight. I greatly appreciate you guys for coming on. And remember, guys, never give up. Never give up, knowing that the best is yet to come. As long as you have love, peace, and gratitude. Nick Nation, my band of brothers, I thank you for coming on. We'll be on next week. I'll do a couple other little snips here on what's going on with Nick Nation in the next couple of days. I'll keep you informed of what's going on. I'll be on with Juby the Tubi on Wednesday as well, and we'll collaborate on his show as well. Watch Juby the Tubi. It'll be in my description. He is a great fan of Knicks. We're following the Knicks, and you guys are my band of brothers, Nick Nation. Love you guys. Zen Ray out. Thank you.
Never give up. Never give up. Knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude.